together and actually be much more of a unit. They've got the experience of Xiang in that top lane and SMLZ in the AD carry position. And it feels like they're the mental rocks now that help this team actually and coerce this team into being a better unit when they get ahead.
And it goes back to the confidence of the organization to stick with this exact roster. Again, nothing changed from OMG going through promotion tournament last split into this split. They made no roster adjustments other than the Shui Shui World 6, but Shui Shui still is with the team. So again, like OMG invested long term, and Vici did the same thing. The difference is OMG's paid off.
OMG looking very strong in this 2-0 set. You can see 8 turrets to 1. They dropped a single dragon this entire set of 2 games. Even just that graph is just a beautiful sort of little snowball. Taking a look at the damage dealt, SMLZ was huge. Icon all over the place. Even 5 outdamaged most members on Vici's roster.
Yeah, a much more tepid game from World 6 as well. Didn't get heavily involved like he does when he plays Lee Sin, but you can see Bengi's damage to champions as well, and that's the important takeaway for me, is neither jungler really did a lot. And the standout performer for Vici was Lung again. Like, that guy is a one-man army on a sinking ship, and for some reason it has all of these star players that are going down with it.
Yeah.
Likewise, also on a comfort champion, Long, known for his rumble play, it's normally banned away from him. I do want to quickly touch damage graphs. While they're really cool and they do tell their stories themselves, they don't show how much control that Zed had. Yes, he did a lot of damage, but because of how far ahead Icon got, and like anytime he walked into Fog of War, Vici were paralyzed. Yeah. They couldn't do anything, and with a Ziggs on his composition, that means that you just get to rock up to any tower and just destroy it.
Yeah, if a Ziggs doesn't win a damage chart, it's because there's a teamer on the team. It's just got so much incidental damage to it. Between that and Azira, they actually had a very high damage bottom lane from OMG. Their jungler didn't need to do that. He actually just needed to burst people out, which is what he was doing with Icon. And their top laner was the rock of the team, which is this tank, but also makes you a tank by giving you these shields. And that's the beauty of the team comp that OMG actually compiled for me, is there's only one direct tank, but there are 4 indirect tanks, if that's what it comes to.
Yeah, and it seems like that's what we saw from OMG since the very beginning of the match. The fact that they set up triple control wards, setting up a defensive line, sort of like this nook that Ziggs can sit and farm in. World 6 never overextended, except for maybe once or twice when he saw, Bengi out of vision. It really seems like they were prepared for this.
It meant that they recognized the win condition of their composition fully. Ziggs was a huge integral part of that, but he was empowered by the Shin, by the Zed, creating that space on the map, and OMG were just patient enough to let him have it.
The MVP is going to be that Ziggs in the bottom lane. SMLZ going 3-1-9, getting a full 75% kill participation and involved in did 31% of his team's damage.
And 106% is the gold to damage ratio, I believe. So in terms of percentage, here's 1.06 effectiveness, which they just put into a more appealing number.
Yeah.
Basically just means that he was really good with the money he got.
Yes. It paid off, apparently, to invest into SMLZ on Ziggs. I mean, he was sieging turrets. He had his team to enable him. He was landing those Mega Inferno bombs. SMLZ was looking sharp.
Yeah.
But we expect that of SMLZ. You know, we talk about how Xiang's kind of the most veteran member of that squad in terms of his longevity with the organization. But SMLZ is the oldest, most veteran player on the team. That guy's been playing forever. We wanted him to kind of step up and be the leader of that team when things were rocky, when things weren't being cohesive and they were falling apart. I don't necessarily think he's taken the leadership role, but he's starting to work on his own consistent performance. We always know he's a good Jhin player. It's nice to see him also be a good Ziggs player.
He's also got that Sivir in the back pocket as well. I mean, the OMG staple diet. Wake up in the morning, have a breakfast of Maokai and Sivir.
Well, he also has the Caitlyn as well, right? So SMLZ through the past split and this one now has actually grown his champion pool in terms of his best champions to be now, it seems, 4. And this is substantially better than what we have seen from a lot of OMG AD carries, including Uzi when he was on the team, because usually it is Sivir. Like, the team says you're playing Sivir, you don't get a choice. Sivir does everything the team needs. However, he's now proven that he can play up to 4 successfully.
And you have to understand kind of the history of SMLZ. You know, he was coming to power around the time that Uzi was, and Wei Xiao kind of handpicked, you know, STYZ and SMLZ as kind of being the players who would ascend his throne. And unfortunately, STYZ got banned, benched, left. SMLZ, kind of the same fate, disappeared into the background, and Uzi rose to the front of everyone's center attention as that big 80 carry. So it's got to feel pretty. I feel like SMLZ is just like the primary anime character. He's like, that could have been me.
Yeah.
I could be sitting on the throne, and now he's just kind of biding his time back to glory.
It's kind of funny though, like he is deserving of that MVP, but I still look at Icon as the person who stands out the most, right? So he's now performing super well, and I do actually have a replay to highlight this as well, because Icon is the one that at the end of the day, even though he isn't doing the damage, is still controlling the map, getting all of the kills, and actually setting his team up for getting it over the line.
Yeah, I know the one that you're talking about where he sort of dives into
It was
back.
when Zeg gets the 3
Yeah,
shadows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll, as we described the replay with our hands instead of having it on the screen, unfortunately some technical difficulties, so we will not get to show that to you right now. But trust us, it's awesome. Go back, watch the VOD. So let's turn the tables to their opponents on the other hand. Vici Gaming, things are looking a little sour if you're an Easy Hoon fan right now.
They just. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You had Dandy on the roster, so there was a world where EasyHoon and Dandy were playing, and Vici were still struggling. And Dandy had been with the organization and been with a mixed language roster for that much longer, and Vici still weren't finding the results that they needed. They then changed pieces, and again, they had lost Mata at this point, so it wasn't like you had the EasyHoon Dandy show. They changed pieces out for Bengi. Wherever you sit on the Dandy versus Bengi scale, you're still making a downgrade in the fact that Bengi's new to being on a mixed language roster. He's new to that organization. He's new to most of those players. So it was just a straight downgrade. They then also lose Coach Home. Like, going into 2017, there was no reason for Vici to perform, and we're still seeing those growing pains. And again, this is now a team of OMG in development that took the risk on their players, that continued to play the same roster and build synergy, versus Vici, who continuously reset their synergy.
Yeah, well, the pressure certainly is on for Vici to show us some growth. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break while we get ready for our second series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're getting ready for our second set of the evening. It's Newbie taking on Snake. Battle for the bottom of the sort of rungs, the bottom of the groups for these two here. Once again, my name is Dom Romer. This time we are swapping out. Rusty is going to be joining me on the cast, and Frosco, you're going to be helping us with the analysis for this set. So let's set the tables. Currently, Newbie, they managed to swap out their mid lane. They brought in Coco. They saw some temporary success, and then they started falling apart once again.
He said set the tables, right? I'm imagining, we've got Christmas decorations on the table and everything, and it's Easter.
Yeah.
That's what these teams are right now. I feel like
it is Easter, but they've got the Christmas decorations.
Yeah,
out.
that's what I'm saying. They're actually insane.
There's a skeleton in the garage. Pumpkins are being set up as
I don't know. So the rosters are swapped is the first thing that we have to say. That's the reason that I bring this up. There's a lot of confusing decisions, and this is actually brought about from the last week of Snake, where they put SOFM into the support position. He's a jungle main. Then they decided that their AD carry is going to be a jungler, and they're going to put their support on the bench.
Yes.
Which is just weird, and it obviously didn't work.
But they, even past that, they continue to shoehorn a language barrier onto their roster. They have enough players in every position that they could run a
rơi lệ ai tiếng nuối ai oan hận ai vội quên.
Anh sẽ vẫn mãi mãi